Good morning, Unity family. How are you guys doing today? Are you ready for 2024? It's coming soon. Let's do this. Let's prepare for our lesson by taking 2 deep breaths and releasing them, okay? 1 breath. And let it out. One more. Let's start with our unity statement of being, which is on the very first page of your hymnal. And we can say that together. The unity statement of being. There is one presence and one power in this church, in our lives, and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. And we will do the 5 unity principles. I will list them, and then we can say that together with the congregation. Principle number 1, God is absolute good everywhere present. Principle number 2, God lives in us, therefore we are inherently good. Principle number 3, we are co-creators with God and create our experience through our thoughts. Principle number 4, prayer is creative thinking that heightens our connection with God. And principle number 5, it is not enough to simply know these principles. We must live the truth that we know. And if you would be so kind, if you are comfortable standing up, we would do our first hymn on page number 2, the Lord's Prayer. If you're comfortable standing up, we will say it together as best we can. Page number 2, the Lord's Prayer. Is always there every Sunday after and also before services to help the choir to get better and to get more beautiful in their music. And our wonderful, beautiful violinist, Natalia, she is also up there. She's here every Sunday as well. And sometimes we forget that they are people behind the scenes that produce this beautiful music. And I've noticed, which is unusual in some of the services, so many people come here inside the sacred temple here before the lessons begin to get prepared for the lesson. And we have beautiful music to help meditate the people that are here. So I wanted to give them some adoration for what they do. And so our choir will have a beautiful hymn as you sit. I'd like to thank our choir director, Michael Natalia, and our choir members. A round of applause for that. And so we have a guest, as you can see, and I'd like to introduce our Reverend Angela Davis, to tell you a little bit about Angela. She originally was ordained with the Sacred Heart of Jesus Family Christian Ministry. And Reverend Angela was initially led to the Unity Teachings in 1989, and she was on a fast track because 5 years later, in 1993, she was appointed to the spiritual leader of Unity North Shore in Covington, where she stayed 22 years? 25 years. Absolutely do not want to shortchange that. And she retired in 2015. However, she continued her spiritual development even after retirement. And she is currently in seminary within the Unity Worldwide Ministries. She's in her third year of attending the Unity Urban Ministerial School. So I want you to give a very warm welcome for Reverend Angela Davis.
Good morning. How are you today? Oh, wait, let me try that again. Good morning. How are you today? Good morning. Oh, I love it. I love it. So you got out of bed like I did. It's a wonderful day, right? Good, good, good. I'm so glad to hear it. Everybody likes to start their New Year resolutions at the end of the month. And by the end of the month, those New Year resolutions say, oh, look for me. We've already dropped the ball on some of them. So today, our theme for today is all about being big for God, starting today and all throughout 2024. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to God's power that is at work within us." So this verse emphasizes the boundless ability and power of God to accomplish far beyond our human expectations or our comprehension. Now just take that in mind for a second. Beyond what we ask for, beyond what we think, and beyond what we pray for. Beyond. How many of you have said a prayer and asked for something specifically, and you were given more than, you were given an abundance over and above what you asked for? Can I just see the show of hands? Oh, God likes to show off, doesn't it? That verse emphasizes God's power to such a degree that I want you to get that inside of your minds today, if you don't already have it. Because once you get that in your mind, you will begin to understand that no matter what you ask for, what you get back is exactly what you were supposed to get. Now, what does that mean? I mean, sometimes we got a lot of garbage in our system when we're asking. And so we're not asking clearly. We're asking without the ability to understand what we're looking at. But when we go into that sacred place of the Most High, we find not only can we see, but we become aligned to that presence. We get centered. Now, someone asked me this morning, well, what do you think about meditation? Oh, my goodness. Meditation is the bomb diggity. Now, that's an old term, I know. I'm probably dating myself. But when I discovered it, Unity's teachings changed my life. How many people in here had Unity teachings change their lives? That's right. So, one of the reasons why it changes our lives is because we're so surprised and amazed at how God begins to show up in our lives. And the thing about joining Unity is not only does God show up in our lives, but we begin to understand things in ways that allow us to put the big picture together for us. So if you're going down a path that's saying, oh, this is not what I asked for, this is not what I was expecting, you're right. Because the higher part of you says, you need this experience to get to where you want to be. Now, I know you've seen movies, you've seen shows where people are going down their path and they're aimed at their goal, and they wind up getting off track, and somehow or another, they wind up getting back on track. Well, I already told you God likes to show off. God takes us to places we didn't even know we wanted to go. And when we get there, we're so grateful to be there. Has that been your experience? So, this year in 2024, we are shining our lights brightly because there is no place God is not. The light of God in you is shining so bright in 2024, you're going to say, wait. Let me get my sunglasses. Because you're going to start to be astounded by the things that are happening to you. And then when some of the things are not meeting your expectations, and we go back to that sacred place, we get calm. We get cool. And we get wisdom. We get understanding about why we're going through these things. Or we get the understanding that each step is okay. Just step with me. Step in me. Let me breathe through you. Let me breathe you. There's not a time when God is not breathing us. Who do you think is doing the breathing of us? You know, just by the way, you know why smokers smoke? For that breath. For for that divine breath. They spoke to get that breath, because that's the only way they know how to get it. We're so blessed that we can get the breath all kinds of ways. In this year, we are going to live large without regrets, because no matter what you step in, and you guys know what I'm referring to, I hope, it's gonna be okay, isn't it? I mean, think back to what you've been through. It's been okay, right? This year, we are going to be free of fear and doubt. Now, that's a very big statement. Because to be free of fear and doubt means one thing. It means we get out of our small minds and we get into our larger mind, that mind of God that is, that knows all things, that sees things before we even know that they're coming, so that we're aware. How often have you sat at a stop sign and waited for a few seconds as you watch as a car whiz by? Something in you knew that you needed to stay put for a moment. And we always have that wisdom and that knowledge available to us. Look for it in 2024. This year, we say yes to more good. Applause here. Everybody wants more good, right? Why? Because it already belongs to you. It's already yours. I learned this past year in school, the world is already finished. Whoa! The world is already finished. Think about that for a moment. That means your life has been lived. And here we are being afraid of what's coming up, right? Stop being afraid. Because what is going to be, will be. Have you heard that? This year, we live in harmony with all people. That includes the people in our families. Some of you are not getting along with people in your families. This is the year you stop doing that. For 30 years, I lived in disharmony. Even though I was a unity teacher, unity minister, knew all this truth, my family got on my ever-loving nerves. Did you ever have that experience? They just tweaked something in me that needed to be tweaked. And you know what it was? Love. I needed to learn to love me more so that I could love them better. Right? So when you feel yourself in dissonance, say, uh-oh, take a step back. I gotta love me more. I gotta love me some more so that I can see me in them. I can see God in them just like I see God in me. And so this past Christmas, my family and I got together up in West Virginia. They rented an Airbnb, and we had a marvelous time. And I had to go around and hug everybody because I had learned how to love them as I love God. It's one thing to say it. Oh, yeah, I love all people. Yeah, I love everybody. It's a whole other thing to live it. So in 2024, I want you to make it a point to find those people who get on your nerves. Find those people who irk you. Find those people and love them. Find a way to love the people in your family, the people you work with, the people in your community. Love the world. And right now, let's just love the world right now. Because there's so much going on in our world, right? We have wars. Okay, stop. Let's love the world, all of us right now. Just love. Everywhere there's war. Everywhere there's dissonance. Everywhere there's hurt. Everywhere people are suffering, send them love. Send them God's love. Don't just send our love. Send the whole shebang of love that God is in all of us to those places around the planet. And when I say send the love, see God's love there. See God going in, touching soldiers' hearts, touching people, touching leaders, moving people into different positions, different ways of thinking. See teaching, winding up. See light, lighting up the atmosphere. See people move, change, and that something has shifted in our world. And the thing that is shifting our world is love. You can open your eyes now. God is in us, that's who. We bring the love. everywhere we go. Sometimes we are the only people God gets to see love in. We get to see love in. That people get to see God in us wherever we go. Today, we're starting at the root of our unity teachings because they invite us. Don't you like getting invited to a party? They instruct us, meaning they teach us, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in ways we prefer not to, but it's all good. I promise. They inspire us, and they fill us with enthusiasm, meaning we get bigger in our lives. We take bigger steps. We make bigger moves. We see things differently because the atoms in our brains have rearranged themselves. That's what meditation does. It charges your brain in such a way that it infects your entire body. And I did use the word infect. It does something to your internal system so that if there is dis-ease happening, it is affected by the meditations, by the prayer work that we do on a daily basis. This is doing things in a bigger way. Everybody, today we are moving in a bigger space, in a bigger place in our consciousness that inspires us, that motivates us, that causes us all to be bigger 365 days of the year in 2024. And it is possible. This year, and I want you to say this, I am profound. Can you say that?
I am profound.
Even if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter. When you say it, your brain hears it, and it may even have a response. But I want to tell you something, that psychologically, when you tell yourself something 3 times, you have changed the waves in your brain so that it accepts something new by the time you get around to saying it the 4th time. We do that really well. I taught kids, and so I had to learn that when you're working with kids, you have to tell them 3 times for them to get it. It's the same with adults. We get it, and we begin to believe it, and we begin to affirm it more and more. So today, Paul wrote in Acts 17:28, he said, "In him we live, move, and have our being." And some have said we are God's offspring. We are God's offspring. Therefore, repeat, I am enthused.
I am enthused.
I'm going to tell you why you're enthused, because God is breathing us. We're enthused because not only is God breathing us, God is thinking us. And some of you are saying, ooh, those thoughts, oh, I don't know, God thinks every thought. God is having so much fun in us. Where else does God get to come and be expressive on planet Earth, if not through us? So we do some crazy, outlandish things, don't we? We do them because, well, God kind of likes that kind of thing. God loves when we are expressing, because even though God in us knows all those things, we are not aware. We, the humans, are not aware that that's what we're doing, expressing as God. And then we have those people who go around going, oh, I don't think that's good. And some of it, trust me, is not good, at least to our human eyes. But God's not looking at it like that. God's going, well, this is where they come. They're perfect for all eternity. This is the playground I send them to play and have fun and do things that are not God-like. That's what we do. So the next time you see something that is not God-like, bless it, pray for it, and thank God that it's moving somebody to where they need to go next in their lives. We're so grateful for God's operation on this planet, because if we had to do it, whew. Now I know you thought I was about to say something else, but the truth is, we are doing it. And we muck it up. And we come together in peace and love and joy when we are ready for it. And when are we ready for it? Anytime. Anytime that you decide you are ready for more of the good, more of the love, more of the joy, more of whatever, it's yours. And nobody's holding us from it. Nobody keeps us from our good except me. Okay, I'm not keeping all of y'all from y'all good. Okay. Today, want to say to you that we are filled with something amazing. And Charles Fillmore writes about it on page 41. He says, in Talks on Truth, he says, we find that life is a principle, that it is inherent in being. It's everywhere present at all times, that it is manifest to consciousness through vehicles, that these vehicles are animated by life according to their power to express it, and that capacity or power of expression is governed by the idea of life that is infused into it by the generative energy of the I am. There it is, generative. That's the word I was trying to get to. We have the generator of God within us. Now here in New Orleans, I know we know all about generators, right? When the power goes out, what do we turn to?
The generator.
You get it? We have the generators in us so that when the power goes out in the world, where do we turn? To the generator within. It means that it is constantly building us up in consciousness. So every time we go within, something is shifting, something is changing, something is being built up in us. So how are we called to play bigger today? What is calling you and me into a grander, bigger experience of our life, which is the greatest gift of life? Now, I know you guys can tell I'm quite expressive. That's because I've been a storyteller, and I'm used to talking to many children, but also lots of adults, and I've been told that they love when I'm loud, so I hope it's okay. So what is calling us deeper? You are being invited to understand who you are. This is the invitation. And you're doing things in a bigger, better way than you already have in the past. So, in other words, I'm saying that tomorrow, the person you've always been is going to come shining through, so that you see more with more clarity of who you are. So I want you to speak that part of you, speak to that part of you that already knows about the love you are. Now just close your eyes for a second and just get in touch with that part of you that already knows about the love that you are. And just take a glimpse at how bright and how big it is. Of you. Of your essence. And it loves. That God in us loves it so much it amplifies it. It shines our light even brighter and bigger and radiates. And it's more powerful. That just keeps on giving and inviting other people to give. That is you. That is who you are. Open your eyes. So when you think life has given you a licking, open your eyes or close them and see that you are still ticking. And there's a reason why you are still ticking. There's a generator in there saying, be big for me. Be big for me. Be big for you, for who you are, because you deserve to be big for God this year. It is so much bigger than we know ourselves to be. And this year, you are stepping into this bigness, this largeness of who you already are. It's not something you're trying to get to. It's who you are. You are free of fears today and doubt that may have clouded your way. Because there's something big happening inside the planet right now, inside the whole world, and people all over. Everywhere I turn, people are talking and showing this big part of themselves, the better part of themselves. Aren't you seeing it? Even Trump is asking for forgiveness. When you were born, there was something in you that could not get your bigness out enough into the world. You screamed so loud the whole world heard you, I think. Right? But even more, think back, how many of you have been around children, babies, mainly babies? Have you ever seen them doing this? And they're trying to get it out. They are trying to tell you how big they are, what they're going to do, all the things they're going to accomplish, who they're being. They are so amazing. these babies that we are. That's us. Still growing, still being. And they still do it in some religious places on earth, and especially in churches, they call it speaking in tongues. When they're talking about the bigness of God, and it's so big they can't get the words out enough. It's bigger than we are. Don't get lost in the details, because this is the most important part about what I'm going to tell you. So make a mental note. Do you know when terrible things happen to you? You know what I'm talking about. Those times when you just want to die. Those times when you wish the floor would open and you could disappear. Those times. Those are the best times of your life, and I want you to realize that for one reason. Because when you are having a moment like that, that is God tapping you on the shoulder saying, excuse me, hey! But we're not hearing God, we're not seeing God, we're not thinking God, all we can see is what's before us. Don't get lost in the details. Come out of that space, close your eyes. And remember who is large and in charge of us. Who is large and in charge? Who's got this whole world in its hands? Who's got it? And where is God? Everywhere. There's no place God is not including in each and every one of us. So when life calls our name with these messages, when we're being tapped, don't be fearful in the moment. Oh, this is a part of you are in the biggest movie of your life. No, this is the part you are being called to play in that moment. And you know that you have everything in you already. How do I know? Because the words are already memorized. Everything that you're supposed to say, everything that you're supposed to do, you're going to do it. Because that's what's supposed to happen. That's how it's supposed to be. So there's something within us that is pushing us forward, which demands continued progress. And even if it seems like it's not working out the way we want it to, I want you to know that it's all part of the program. So feel yourself being drawn by this deeper pull of who you truly are and that you are truly loved. Not only are you loved, but you are loved. And when you're having those moments, remember that I am loved. I know I'm loved. I know there's love here. I know there's love in me. I know there's love in all these people that are showing me all these things I don't want to see and don't want to hear and don't want to face. Know that for yourself. That you are the greatest love and the greatest actor or actress in your play in that moment in your life. We are being pushed by the divine discontent, God tapping us on the shoulder saying, excuse me, this year, you're going to be a bigger expression of me than you are being right now. This year, you're going to sprout wings and you're going to fly like the birds through the air. Anybody ever flown before? Oh, when I went diving, skydiving, I flew. It was amazing. I recommend you try it. Smile. This year, you are a more powerful creator than you have known yourself to be. A more powerful co-creator. And God is mainly saying, hey, do I have your attention now? You know why? Because you know what the biggest motivator for change is? Pain. How many of you walked into this door because you were in so much pain? You were in good company. Pain is what drives us to change. And so, my dear friends, Charles Fillmore says the secret place of the Most High is within each of us. This is the point that we understand what it is to be inspired by Spirit and to say and do extraordinary things in the sight of the world. Inspire means to blow, to breathe. I'm sure you've heard this before. It's a spiritual doctrine, and it came to mean divinely breathe into. Simply put, when you breathe that deep breath, and everybody take a very, very deep breath, and feel God within you. This year, our teachings are providing us proactive ways to totally and be completely bigger for God in 2024. So here's the warning. You know how you see that little ticker tape on the bottom of your TV screen? Here's the warning. I'm saying to you, be prepared for when the moments come and treat them as they are meant to be. Another moment with God leading and guiding You have your ability to speak and know that your good has already occurred in you. Remember, the world's already finished. So it's already in your consciousness, just waiting to be tapped, waiting to be sprang, waiting to be let out, waiting to be the best you that you ever thought that you could be. And something right now, today, is in motion in you. You've already begun long before you walked in here. And there's more to Fillmore's words. He says, this is the point in everyone when God joins hands with us and where the Word of God finds entrance into our consciousness. It is here we understand what it means to be inspired by the Spirit and to say and do extraordinary things in the sight of the world. So how are you choosing to be bigger for God in your life? And I'd like my people to come up and help me pass these papers out, please. It's part of your invitation. Maybe I can get Mr. Teresa to help me and some other people. Everybody gets one and a pen. And some of them over there, please. Okay, thank you. Yeah, just get them out there. Because this is the moment where God speaks directly to you from within you. Turn your paper over when you get it. And if you look at the paper, I didn't keep one to myself, but if you look at it, it basically says that this is the year that you're going to be bigger and better for God, that you are bigger and better for God. So how are we choosing to be bigger and better for God this year? I am speaking out for love by. So on the back of your paper, I am being and speaking out for love by. So if you got mine with the writing on the back of it, I apologize. But anyway. So the first one is, that's all I do. I'm speaking. We don't have enough. Okay, for those of you who didn't get to grab a piece of paper, here's some little pieces of paper, and you can just write. I'm speaking out for love by. And how is God directing you to speak out? And then turn your paper over where all the writing is. And it says, I am shining my light brightly. Now you might be saying, well, I don't know, but the world is finished. You do know. Something in you does know, and I want you to tap into that space that does know how you are supposed to shine your light brightly. And you know what? You can't get it wrong because you know who you are. And if you don't have the thought in there about what it is, don't stress, don't fret. God's got you. I'm living loud without regrets. So number one, I'm speaking out for love by. How are you being directed to do that in 2024? The number two is I'm shining my light brightly, and it's on the front of the page where the writing is. I'm shining my light brightly by. Number three, I'm living loud without regrets. How are you doing that in 2024? I am free of fear and doubt. And the next one is I say yes to my good. And it's okay, you can continue filling this out while we're going through the service. I live in harmony. I'm a catalyst for change. And while you're writing, I'm going to tell you the story of Kiara Lubitz. She was born in 1920. And as a woman, her opportunities were very limited. She tried to get a scholarship to a university, but she failed. She was inconsolable. And in that moment, remember the moment when I tell you something's tapping you on your shoulder, it's the most horrible moment of your life? That was her moment. Right then and there, she became bigger for God. Because right then and there, she heard God's voice. She felt consoled by God deep within her. And God told her, I will be your teacher. And from that moment on, she became a charismatic figure who broke so many of the female stereotypes of the 1940s. She single-handedly opened previously unheard of roles for women in society. So not only did God make her bigger, but it made things bigger for everybody else. In the midst of World War II, she discovered a profound truth, that God is love. Now you guys know that. She opened up the Bible to a page, it got her attention, and she understood that the unity of God is within all people. And that's the only way we're going to end war on our planet. The war of that moment. Because there are new children being born yearly. And those children have to learn the same lessons that we need to learn, that we had to learn. And then you become the wise ones, and you lead the way, and you show others how to do all these things that you're going to be doing in 2024 to be bigger for God. And I hope and pray that you write me, that you call me, and you let me know what you've done, how God has expressed in your life, and just how much more amazing you have become. And if it doesn't happen in 2024, it's okay. We got 2025 and all those years thereafter. Just remember your goal. Be big for God, because you will do more in 2024. God bless you. So take a deep breath and just put your papers aside. You can write on them after we finish. And let's go to that place where we are already big for God. Take a deep breath and allow that divine presence to fill you up with light. Fill us with love. Fill us with joy and peace. Let that light and that love and that joy and that peace flow into your homes where you live. And see the people in your home feeling this light and love and joy and peace of God. And you don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about how to do that, how to make that happen. The divine shows up. For the space where we are is sacred and holy, pleasing to God. Breathe deeply as you share your love and your light to those in your families, outside of your home, wherever they may be. now share that light and that love with your community, with those around you, people you work with, those in your city. Go even further, those in the state. It's big enough, it's grand enough and great enough in us. And now, allow that love to circle the entire planet and see people who need healing healed, lives restored, people working together, joy, harmony, God. Let us bring our thoughts, our minds, in conjunction and wholeness with the divine presence, back to this room. And now see this church filled with joy, light, love, and peace. See the seats in this room filled. The community pouring through the doors. And the joy here, the celebration. As we come together the eve of 2025. And what an amazing place this has turned into even more. See the minister bringing you lessons that just cause you to jump for joy. And the radiant peace of God expressing as you, no matter where you are. We are the beloved. Take another deep breath and allow ourselves, that bigness of God, to go out from us. And we let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Just bring us to the present. Thank you so much. And your teacher was in full compliment because we left with homework. This is our time for tithes and offerings. And so we ask that you repeat after me the abundance blessing of the congregation. And we'll say it 3 times in case you're fairly with me. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, it is so done. announcements. Electronic giving is at the front desk in the lobby. Copies of today's service are available on CD at the front desk as well. Prayer chaplains are available after service. And Shanti, would you mind coming up front so they can see your beautiful energy? And know that everything that we speak of when we are in prayer ministry is in confidence. Thank you, Shanti. You can find us on YouTube as well as Facebook. Next Sunday, January the 7th, Reverend Stephen Fleming will return for our message, and after the service we will have what's called our burning bowl. In case you're unaware of what that is, I'll quickly describe it. It's an opportunity to release the behaviors, the routines that are not serving you. And so pen to paper, as they say. So we'll give you pen and paper. All the supplies will be there. And you basically write down what you would like to release for 2024. Those behaviors that are keeping you from the flow of God. Let go and let God. Then we go out and there's a burning bowl. And you get to burn those behaviors that you want to remove. It's a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And then the following Sunday, on the 14th, we're going to have the White Stone ceremony. And Reverend Stephen will tell you more about that next week. Now, stay tuned. January's next guest speaker will be Reverend Sheila Gotro, whose Sunday message is going to be The Long Journey Home, and that will be on January the 21st. New visitors, new people, visitors, any new people, any visitors. Please, if you don't mind standing up, would that be okay? And let us know your name and how you came to Unity.
My name is Nicholas. I've lived here 10 years, and I passed by it, and I'm a recovering Catholic.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Looking for something different.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Thank you for standing up. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Lori.
Hi, Lori.
I am here because of Angela.
Because of Angela.
Because of Angela.
You brought your crew. Okay.
Today, and that's why I'm here.
And where are you from?
Well, I'm born and raised in New Orleans, but I spent many years in New Jersey, but I'm back living here.
Okay, you can enter and come to our facility even if Angela's not here. Just to let you know, you're welcome. Even if she's back in, where do you live now?
Houston.
Houston, okay. Anyone else? All right, my name is Tarcisius, and I am a volunteer. I do platforming, I do choir, and anything else that Stephen asked us, I do my best to step up. And we all need volunteers. We need people to step up. So if there's something that you would like to do, you have a skill, a talent, an endeavor, please call me, or rather talk to me after the service, and I'll make sure that we direct you to the proper people, okay? And now it is time for our prayer of protection. Give me a moment here. All right. So, prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God encloses us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is always. The Lord watches between me and thee while we are absent one from the other, and helps us to know that we are all one in spirit, our Lord Jesus Christ. And if you guys would circle around, we'll do our end service.